Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your February 2024 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who like, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's Celtic Oracle spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements and wisdom of the Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off my roll nose astrology. Next, we have in front of us the idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have 10, and 10th house energy for you guys is Libra. Generally speaking, pretty quiet there. I mean, we do have the South Node there, but generally speaking, 10th house points to career and social status. Alright, we have the North Node, so the North Node is actually in Aries, and that's your 4th house of home, family, and roots. Alright. And we have Sagittarius. So for you guys, Sagittarius energy is your 12th house of spirituality, blind spots, mental health. And I do see Sagittarius energy in your main spread too. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the 4 of Pentacles, which is a Capricorn energy. And challenging that, we have the Knight of Wands, which is the core card for Sagittarius. So could just be saying that for a lot of you, you might have been conserving your resources lately, and maybe the reason why could be maybe some of you got an idea that you wanted to take a nice vacation somewhere, so you're saying to yourself, all right, so let me start saving up now so I could actually do that thing, right? For others, you could actually work the other way around. Maybe you did take a big vacation recently, and now you're like, okay, well, now I have to budget a little bit more until I feel like I'm more comfortable with spending money after that. But yeah, either way, that's kind of what I'm feeling there. It feels like there's a level of you guys holding back a little bit with the thought that somewhere down the line you're actually going to go out and enjoy yourselves a little bit. All right, in the foundation position, we have the 2 of Cups. So this is a Cancer energy here. So yeah, maybe for some of you, this is saying that maybe, for example, you recently got into a relationship and you guys agreed, like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool if we go on this trip, right? So you're like, okay, it's our first trip together. I want to make sure everything's perfect, right? So it could be one of those types of dynamics there. And if not, again, directly related to any kind of trip, could just be saying that maybe we've linked up with someone recently who makes you want to be more adventurous in some way. All right. In the past position, we have the Tower. So yeah, maybe something might have recently fallen out of your lives as well. So let's say, for example, maybe this was your previous connection, right? Maybe it ended in a abrupt way, but now you're feeling like, okay, maybe you're more comfortable to open up again. And now as you're doing so, right, you met someone that you're getting comfortable with, and now that relationship is progressing. But if not, that could just be saying that maybe you went through a bit of an abrupt ending in any area of life, and maybe that could have even been the spark for you to say, well, you know what, after that whole mess I went through, right, now that I'm recovering for that, I need to just go take a vacation somewhere to get a change of scenery. Okay, in the present position, we have the 5 of Swords. So this is actually an Aquarius energy here. It represents the first 10 degrees of Aquarius. So it could just be saying that right as Aquarius season starts off, you might already be feeling this energy around you. This is usually an energy where people engage in a type of conversation where they know that there's no real positive way that the conversation could go, right? But they still engage in it anyway. Nothing productive is going to come out of it. So it could just be saying that you should be on the lookout for that this month. Especially around the time of the Leo full moon coming up in a couple of days. So yeah, it seems like it'll be a temporary blip on the radar, but just have that awareness that there could be people in your environment who are a little high strung, just, determined to win, quote unquote, by any means necessary. So if you feel that energy around you, at least you're forewarned that it's in the air, so you could just try to avoid it. All right, well, speaking of the full moon in the near future position, we have the moon. So usually when this card comes up, I do remind people to just keep an eye out for the times of the major lunar cycles for the next 30 days as maybe key points where key information might come your way or a key event might happen. So like I said, we're about to have that Leo full moon in a few days. When we're actually physically in February around the 9th or so, we're going to have a new moon in Aquarius, and then there's going to be a full moon in Virgo right as we shift into Pisces season. So be on the lookout for those energies there is when you might feel these energies at a peak. But beyond that, it could just be saying that you might not feel like you're seeing the situation clearly. So that could be part of why you're withholding right now too, right? Because you like maybe you're thinking, for example, like, okay, I know I want to take a trip somewhere, but where, right? So you're like, all right, well, in the meantime, let me save my money, make sure that when I do figure out where I want to go, I'll be ready to make that trip. All right. Excuse me. The position of your influence in the situation. We have the magician. So yeah, to me, this is that you have the tools at play to make any types of moves that you need to make. So again, like I said, I feel like it's not necessarily that you don't have the means, for example, to make the trip, but you're just trying to be practical about it, right? And I feel like this is saying that you do just have that desire though for a change of scenery. So again, I keep going back to the trip example, but even if it's not that, where you just feel like you need a change of scenery in some way, even if it means redecorating where you live now, things along those lines, it looks like you have this overall idea in mind. And now it's just a matter of you saying, all right, well, let me just start to conserve my resources in the meantime and then make the move when I feel the time is right. All right, in the environment position, we have the Five of Wands. So, yeah, again, similar energy to what we were just talking about with the Five of Swords. Could just be saying that there's something in the air this month with people that you're dealing with where you're like, okay, people are going to be high strung. Everyone wants to make sure their voice is heard, right? They want to speak over everyone else and make sure things get done their way. So it could just be one of those months where actually, if you think of it that way, it seems like the perfect moment to take a vacation, right? Be like, okay, I'm just going to step away from this whole mess and let them fight amongst themselves, right? Might be the best strategy to go about for the situation anyway. All right, in hopes or fears position, we have the strength card. So yeah, this for you, I feel like this is saying that you almost hope that you can bite your tongue, right? Because you might feel that energy around you, and you're like, part of you might almost feel that pull to engage in it as well. But I feel like there's also that part of you that's like, you know what? I know better, right? Like, let me not even engage. Let me keep my distance, right? Like I said, for some of you, just change your scenery altogether. But yeah, that's why I feel like you guys are going to be feeling this month. Right. In the outcome position, we have the Four of Wands. So yeah, like I said, whether this represents you guys taking that trip or even just saving up money to beautify where you're currently living, it looks like you will reach that goal as we get toward the end of February. This is usually an energy of celebration. Now, for some of you, maybe it'll go a little bit further out, saying that given that this is an Aries energy, it might say that by the time we get to Aries season, you'll finally be able to do that thing. But either way, it looks like we're seeing steady progress toward that. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. So, speaking of Aries, this is the major arcana card for Aries. So, yeah, maybe that's just the energy in the air, right? Where maybe everyone's coming at problems with this energy of the Emperor, right? Like, no, it's my way or the highway, right? And like I said, for some of you, you might even feel that urge coming up within you, but at the same time, it looks like you're gonna catch yourselves and hold back on that, whereas others around you might not be able to do so. But yes, so it could just be saying that this could just be the energy that's in the air this month, and the best thing you could do would be to be more controlled and let those energies around you play out how they will. All right, moving on to your four agreements card. We have don't make assumptions. Let's see if we get it to focus. Won't cooperate, but it says say goodbye. There we go. Say goodbye to sadness and drama. Okay, it says all the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. The whole world of control between humans is based on that. Take a moment and consider this. So interesting message there, right? Making assumptions, taking things personally, that definitely sounds like the type of energy that the Five of Swords and the Five of Wands embodies. And like I said, it looks like for the most part it'll be taking place around you, but you guys kind of have the awareness to avoid it. And maybe because you've been there, done that, right? Maybe for some of you that's what the tower points to, where you're like, yeah, you know what? I was there at one point. Lesson learned, right? That's why we see the Sherm card there. Like, nope, holding back from that, withdrawing from that. you guys can fight amongst yourselves. Moving on to the wisdom of the oracle, we have round and round. There's the artwork, and the number is 25. So yeah, could just be one of those things, right, where, like I said, maybe this is a repeat cycle, but you guys have learned from it and more or less know how to navigate around it and withdraw from it, whereas maybe not everyone else in your environment has that same experience. Excuse me. So, essential meanings says the spiral quality of events when a lesson isn't quite integrated, cycles you are challenged to break, revisiting a pattern from a new perspective. The Oracle's message: the appearance of this card is a reminder that although it may appear that you've gone backward, the truth is you are standing at a higher level, looking down into your circumstances. You will learn something, do something better, and break a cycle set up in the past. You actually have a bird's eye view of your initial footprints and gain access to wisdom and lessons learned. So yeah, again, that seems to go back to, like I said, it looks like there's going to be some tense energy in the air around you guys this month, but it looks like you would be able to navigate it. And again, like I said, because maybe you've been there, done that, which would point to the tower energy we saw. The relationship message says, are you wondering how did I get here again? Does something feel familiar right now in your dynamics with others? Maybe a little too familiar? Don't be surprised that you found yourself repeating an old story with the same sort of person who may not look similar, but who attracted you because of your easy acquaintance with his or her qualities. Your relationship is a mix of what is good and what is potentially challenging. You have been drawn to this person through the perfection of Spirit's plan for your evolution. You may have circled back to an accustomed spot, a familiar place, but that's fine, as you get to do things again, only differently this time, for you learned something of great value since the last time around. How will you choose to behave now that you're aware? Remain curious and stay out of the blame game. So yeah, interesting message there, right? Because that even gives me the perspective if we want to look at this through a relationship lens, right? Where maybe you might see something bubble up on the surface, and almost because you care for this person so deeply, where you're like, okay, they're in a bad mood today, right? Let me just keep my distance and let them ride it out themselves, right? Rather than we start butting heads and then it boils up into this big thing. So again, it just looks like you have a certain level of awareness this month that those around you might not seem to have. Okay, the prosperity message says if you're in a scenario that appears to be an echo of something that's already happened in the past in your work life, it's because you're being invited to see what you couldn't see before. This is a perfect time for you to look at the deeper motives you have and your attraction to the opportunities and people who have entered your life to be part of your journey to prosperity. Who helps you navigate? Who sabotages you? Who supports you? What are the familiar signs and your responses to them when you find yourself in a repeat of a pattern of the past? It's a good time to get a coach or mentor who can help you see what you can on your own. Repeat what works, not what doesn't. Then you will free yourself from the old cycles and cease going round and round. Yeah, so again, another positive message there, right? Where, like I said, it just seems like the energy around you might be a little out of whack this month, but for the most part, it looks like you have the awareness of it. Looks like you've been there, done that, right? So you might not even necessarily judge them because you're like, okay, I was in that mix at one point myself. But like I said, this month it looks like you're really being smart about it, avoiding it. Like I said, for some of you, just taking a vacation and keeping your distance in some way. But hopefully that resonates with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.